Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be playing some green TD on normal difficulty, but before I get to that, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a 10,000 subscriber live stream where I'll be playing games with subscribers, so if that's something you're interested in, subscribe and set notifications to all with the bell button so that you can be alerted when it begins. Aside from that, let's get to the game. So the objective of this game is to prevent the total amount of enemies on the map from ever exceeding 700. The only thing you have to do is build towers to kill the enemies. At the start of the game, and really for most of the game, critical towers are really strong. But near the end of the game, the total amount of enemies that have divine armor just keeps increasing. The final boss, on normal, has 200 divine armor, meaning 88% damage reduction, and then an additional amount from divine. So the trick to getting through this is going to be getting enough either armor reduction or chaos damage to get through the divine. Aside from that though, we'll just be focusing on chaos towers for now. We're going to get some crit 3s, which should be enough to take out these units. The towers scale pretty linearly, which is to say that by the time you, or well, more accurately, so if a tower costs 425 gold, it'll double your tower damage, but what that also means is you could get another tower of its current level for the amount of the upgrade, generally. So instead of having 2 critical tower 3s, I could have an additional 2 critical tower 2s. However, for the most part, since 3 is plenty, you don't really need to do that. The advantage to having more weaker towers is that as the total amount of enemies increases, they'll be able to split their fire. Since no one's really leaking yet, that's not too relevant. I'm going to be placing a one-shot tower right here, which will eventually be upgraded into a slow tower. The the single-shot tower, does 20 damage and 900 range, so it's pretty much irrelevant. Damage is still a little bit low for this wave. So I will get a 4th critical tower. And let's, while I wait to get this upgrade, let's take a look at what everyone else is doing. Yellow has 1 siege tower, seems to be doing well, and 1 multi-tower. Pink, pretty much the same. Well, not really. He has slow tower, siege tower, and poison tower. The poison tower has a 30 or 40% movement slow, so when you pair that with the slow tower, it can get the enemies almost stationary once you upgrade them. Purple has slow tower, corruption tower, and siege tower. Seems to be working out. And red is going for massive towers. He has a few crits and a few trolls. Seems to be working out, but as you can see, having less stronger towers also does just fine. Let's get 1 level of slow, and then get more critical tower upgrades. In reality, getting the 1 level of slow isn't that good of a choice at this point, because it's only a 10% movement speed slow, but it's still better than nothing. Eventually we will of course be maxing it out. Looks like we have some graphical errors with the Infernal Cannon's attack. Oh, okay. So the Infernal Tower looks like it's also doing AoE. It's pretty effective. He's killing the units that I'm struggling with. I wouldn't really say struggling, but I am leaking a couple. Yeah, so it looks like I leaked one, maybe two or three. Yeah, the air waves are pretty much freebie waves. The air takes less damage than the previous wave, and most of your towers will probably be able to attack air anyway, so it's a non-issue. That's mostly designed, I would imagine, to get around the siege towers, because the Infernal can't attack air. Yeah, any multi-tower is going to get through the air with ease. Now having the armored giants coming out, they have 25 armor. Still a pretty easy wave. Looks like red is leaking a couple. And that appears to be it. Everyone has roughly the same amount of kills so far. Yellow has the green has the most, and red has the least. This is like your first little mini boss wave. These guys have 25 fortified armor, but the power of the crits will still get through them with ease.
Upgrade finished.
And the jump from Tower 3 to 4 is a pretty significant one, because for the price of an additional Tower 3, you're getting the equivalent of 4 Tower 3s.
Upgrade finished.
And now that the slow tower is cheaper than my crits, I'll probably get one more slow upgrade.
Upgrade
I
finished.
wonder what other people are up to so far. 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. And the slow tower, interestingly, the price of it is not too bad for how rapidly it scales. 1200 will give it another 10, and then finally 2000 will give it another 10, resulting in a total cost of around 4000 for 40% movement slow. Let's get another crit upgrade.
Upgrade finished.
Triple again. And in a moment here I'm going to pick up a poison tower, because it'll essentially double the amount of movement slow, which means for the stronger, like, mini boss waves, they will not be able to move as quickly.
Upgrade
30%. Alright, I'll leave it at that for now. Looks like Red decided to ditch his crit towers for more trolls. It's actually an interesting strategy. It wouldn't surprise me if mass chaos units could actually be viable for taking out the final boss. But obviously this isn't specifically what you should do since they can't take out the regular guys.
Upgrade finished.
And I'll max out the slow tower next. I could go for a corruption tower actually. The corruption tower reduces enemy armor by 15, which is really good in the early game, but a bit pathetic later on.
Your building is coming.
Yeah, because in the early game that'll take them from 60% to... Can't actually read any of this before they die. Let me target one that's far back. 38%, around 60, so that's significant. Later on, once they have 200 armor, the 15 is unnoticeable. And yeah, the next slow upgrade will cost 40,000, so that's going to take quite a while. Let's get a couple more poison tower upgrades to get one more movement speed buff. Or debuff, rather. Now it's up to 50%, so we'll leave it there. This means that even though these guys have divine armor, they're moving, or well, not really relevant to the divine armor, but the corruption tower reduces the divine guy from 47% reduction to 0. Even then though, they're still able to get through purely because the tower's attack time isn't quite fast enough. So I'm going to get some aura towers. One speed aura and one damage aura. And next up will be one more crit upgrade. Yeah, fortunately the crit's range is so high that they're still able to attack even if they're slowed down really far away. Yeah, so with these slows combined, which is 50% plus 40%, you can see it takes out just about all the movement speed for units that don't die to the crit. There is some merit to getting air towers, which is that the second to last wave is a difficult divine wave and the enemies are air. However, I haven't actually checked out the stats, so it's possible it's not worthwhile. Since air towers only cost... Oh, they're chaos. Okay. That actually... Okay, that's actually really good. If you need help with air, which we will. But not yet. I'm going to sell that for now, since the first difficult air wave is quite a ways away, and selling towers that aren't maximum level give 100% of their money back. Looks like I have gradually worked my way up to the top in kills, probably due to red. Let's check out how the other top players are doing. So blue is doing siege, crit, bouncing, and multi. Okay. Siege. Okay. Yeah, distributing your slow will keep them all under your towers for a long time. This is the first wave that gets a ton of armor. As long as you just hit each of them once, it lasts for 17 seconds, so it will probably be sufficient. Next tower is another 6,000. Personally, I'm not too big of a fan of getting this tower, just because of this annoying flash, but it is still a damage upgrade, so we have to go through it at some point. Try out getting a couple levels of corruption upgrade. Okay, so a single level boosts it to 30 reduction. That's solid. And one more level might eliminate all armor? Okay, so each corruption level reduces the amount of corruption by, reduces their amount of armor by 15. So right now, that's taking these guys from, I think it was 73% to 0. And the range is extremely long, 1400. Actually, it's not as long as that initially looked. Once you get past the Divine Wave, the Banshees that come next are extremely easy, so that can be a time to focus upgrading one crit tower instead of splitting the money. Going to get a damage upgrade, which will increase it from 30 to 50. Actually, yeah, it only is 30 to 50%, so that would take it up by an extra 5,000. Yeah, I'll just put it into the crit tower upgrade instead. His poison tower is attacking really fast. Actually, I guess mine's going pretty quickly too. Crit 9, we're up to 259,000 damage crits. And we have another easy airwave. Let's get another level of... Now I'll max out the crit first, and then I'll get a little more corruption. Getting more attack speed is probably better than damage right now, because that'll increase the likelihood of the corruption landing on a relevant unit. Yes, now I'm up to 50% additional attack speed. Wonder if he maxed his out. Nope, just 2. Couple of leaks are coming from Green, unsurprisingly, because he left the game. That could be a problem, but I don't really have the money to... Well, I guess if I started taking all his kills, I could put up towers to counter that, but I lose any aura synergy, so for now, I'll just let those roam around the map. In theory, if Pink was strong enough, he would be able to handle all of Green as well. Because I'm having no difficulty with a full bash of units. Now we're losing. Technically, we might have increased a little bit, but you get up to 700, so we still have quite a safety net. And this is the final level of Crit Tower. Without maximizing my damage yet, it's already doing 485,000 damage crits, which is enormous. And I'll boost that damage right now. So these Murlocs are still within the full armor reduction range, so I don't need to focus on getting an extra corruption tower or anything. I will upgrade my next crit though. Okay, so the armor amount is increased, which means it's time for more corruption. It's too bad there's no focus target with higher armor that's automatic. So it should now be up to 60. Yeah. And one more level will negate that to 0, which is perfect. Actually, my guess is it'll go from 60 to 100 reduction, because usually the perfect upgrade is a little bit more powerful than one regular. Which can be observed from Tower 9, goes from 40% chance to 45. And it also doubles, actually you know what, that's a bad example. But it does get an extra 5% crit. Whereas most levels don't. Looks like there's still one mammoth running around. You know, I think I'd rather have the armor upgrade first, even though that's almost certainly much less damage. Actually, 100,000 is not bad. 200,000, 300,000 damage. It's a pretty decent supplement. In fact, how much armor is it reducing? Can't tell. Too many flyers leaked in from the bottom, now slowing down my attack rate. There we go, one more perfect crit. Okay, maybe I'll be able to see how much armor it reduces this time. Actually, I think the corruption is just one-shotting all of them as well. And now it's time for one more damage upgrade, bringing it to 80% bonus damage. And then I'll get more attack speed next. My crits are now up to 684,000 damage. I'll get a couple more levels of poison to whatever the next lot is. So right now it's at 50, let's try to get it to 60. Okay. Yeah, that attack speed is way faster now. Is this a divine armor? Yeah. Oh, here we go. We should be able to see how much it's reducing now. 75. Okay, it was just a linear additional 15. Slightly disappointing, but I suppose 100 reduction would have been too good. So I believe this is somewhere around like wave, okay, 31 of 36. For the most part, the last 3 waves are going to be the hardest, so hopefully we'll be able to succeed. So I'm going to start getting, if I can save the money for it. Oh, that is not the right tower. Meant to build the king tower. I'm going to start getting super bounce towers, unless one of these appears to be better. Yeah, I'm going to go for super tower perfect bounce, because for 100,000 it bounces 10 times and does chaos, so it should be effective against the final boss's divine armor. I might even sell this crit to get a little money, but we're not in a rush just yet. Yeah, the damage of all the super towers, or the king upgrades, is a little underwhelming, because 90,000 damage post-buff is just the equivalent of crit pre-buff, but chaos is a superior type. Actually, it seems like that bounce is doing peanuts for damage. Like, what is this? Like, 2 damage or something? The bounce must be like 95% reduced. Yeah, that is... Okay, never mind. This the bounce tower is not the way to go. But I will upgrade my slow tower to Jack Frost, which I'm assuming is 50% slow, but it's tough to tell. Yeah, this is... The base 50,000 does appear to apply correctly, but then the bounce just does not. Yeah, it still might be the best Chaos Tower, though. Okay, I'll pick up one more Chaos Tower, just for reference, to show you the normal Chaos. Normal Chaos does 100,000 and then plus an additional 80% from the aura. And it only costs 60,000 to build. So this, considering how weak the bounce is, the Chaos Tower Perfect might be the way to go. So for some reason it's now up to 100,000. How did I get the extra 20%? Let's get another Chaos. Or first we'll get one more Perfect crit. And we'll also set these to auto inner fire, which gives an additional 50% damage boost. But I don't know what they're inner firing. Okay. Looks like it's doing the crit towers, which is good. Alright, so this is the second to last wave. It looks like I have sufficient damage to get through it for now. Well, almost sufficient. Look at how many extra kills I was going to say it looked like I had like 700 extra kills, but Teal is at 3,900. Get one more Chaos maximum. Probably going to lose on this final boss since we're at 620 right now. Here's the final boss. 200 Divine Armor. And that's game. I was able to get through these. I would suspect that if everyone went for my strategy, we probably would have been able to win that. And Teal was doing pretty well too, but I didn't take a look. It's possible that he was leaking all of his or something, but yeah. So, with that, it's going to be it for this video. As I had mentioned earlier, if you want to check out my live stream, it's going to be on tomorrow at roughly noon Pacific time. I'll include a link to that in the description, but the best way to be notified is to subscribe and activate the bell for all notifications. And with that, I'll see you guys tomorrow.